What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the Padsmith Temple of Dreams Remastered. This is a control gaming mouse pad that I got. It has a pretty different surface from anything that I've used on the market, but is this going to be the perfect gaming mouse pad for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know that Padsmith did send this out to me. However, everything you're going to be seeing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. This did arrive to my front door in this flat package boxing, and it is an envelope style. This is going to be available in two different sizes. This one comes in at 490 millimeters in width by 420 millimeters in height, and it is sitting at 4 millimeters in thickness. The other version that will be coming out will be kind of an XXL version, coming in at 1000 millimeters in width by 500 millimeters in height, but that one will have a different base. It will be made of rubber. And the base that is featured on this pad is different than the actual base that's on the Crucible. This is a open cell PU base. As you can see here, it does have this texture along the surface, along with their logo, and the elastic properties on this base. They do have a very quick rebound time, but it did sit nice and grippy on all the desks that I had placed it on, and I didn't have any issues with it moving around on me during my gameplay. The stitching all the way around the edges looks great, and it sits about at level with the surface itself. The surface on this feels incredible. It does offer a great sense of both dynamic and static friction, but it does feel like it's very flattened out, so you don't feel any type of an abrasiveness sticking up on it as you're rubbing your skin across it. It does feel very smooth and flattened out. And as I was testing this out, I did find that it does have an even glide along the X and the Y axis, and when you're rubbing your finger across it, you don't feel as much of a texture across the X axis, but you do feel a slight bit more of texture as you're going up and down the Y axis. And from the second that I've placed this on my desk and I've been using it, the performance of this, it truly does feel incredible. Even though it does have a 4 millimeter base, since the elastic properties rebound so quickly, it doesn't feel like it's super plush to where your mouse sinks into the surface very much. It honestly does offer a little bit more of a stiffer feeling. You never get a very high sense of it sinking into the pad very much or feeling very muddy. And in fact, that's one of my favorite things about the overall performance of this and why I have been enjoying it so much. Even though it does have a pretty high static and dynamic friction, I really do feel like that they are both equally matched with one another. Usually when you're playing with control pads, especially with this much control in them, I kind of feel like you have a high sense of dynamic friction, but then when you get down into the static friction with the micro adjustments, I feel like a lot of times that pads can get kind of increasingly muddy. And as I was using this, even though you do get a great sense of control, I honestly never really felt like there was a whole lot of muddiness there. As a matter of fact, you don't really feel any type of a muddiness, hardly at all. You just get such an even sense of control. And I know that people use their mouse pads differently. You have people that are forearm aimers. Me, I'm mostly a wrist aimer, but as I was coming down and doing the micro adjustments, I was surprised at just how effortlessly and easy it was to do. And I really felt like this pad worked perfectly regardless of what game I played. Even if I was playing high speed, faster paced games like Apex Legends, I really was addicted to how much control I got while I was tracking on this, and how the amount of control was given me didn't make me feel like it was hindering my gameplay in any way as I was doing the up close tracking or micro adjustments. And I really do feel like the combination of this base with the surface itself felt incredibly consistent regardless of what type of mouse, what type of skates I was using, whether I was using dot skates, these small corner skates, or even these larger set skates. All around, I felt like it had a very even performance across the board. And if you're trying to decide on whether you should pick up the Temple of Dreams or the Crucible, honestly, I feel like both of these options are great. The surfaces on these, they don't feel too far apart. They kind of have that flattened out overall feeling on the top. You do feel a little bit more of a texture over here on the surface of the Temple of Dreams, but the performance between these two, obviously the Crucible being a speed pad and the Temple of Dreams being more of a control pad. But I really feel like both of these options are great, just depending on whether you prefer the control or the speed. So let's just go ahead and drop a glide test comparison really quick between the Crucible and the Temple of Dreams. All right, next up, when comparing it to the Zowie G-SR II, the G-SR II truly has been one of my favorite control pads on the market in recent times. I really feel like the performance of the G-SR II, it just feels really consistent for a control pad through and through without feeling too muddy. And to be completely honest with you, I'm honestly getting really similar vibes over here on the Temple of Dreams Dreams. I do feel like the Temple of Dreams does offer a bit more of control and has just slightly a little bit more of friction, but when going back and forth between the performance of both of these, I really do feel like they both perform incredible. They don't feel very muddy. So let's go ahead and drop the glide test between the Temple of Dreams and the GSR II. All right, then finally, when comparing it to the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro, I do feel like all around that the Saturn Pro does have less of a dynamic and static friction. The base on the Saturn Pro is more plush and easier to push into, where I feel like the pad on the Temple of Dreams feels a little bit more firm and has a little bit quicker of a rebound time. So let's go ahead and drop the glide test between the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro and the Temple of Dreams. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up with the Padsmith Temple of Dreams. As I've been going back and forth and A and B testing this with some of my favorite control pads out there on the market, there's absolutely no question that this thing stacks up against the best out there, and it does offer a bit of a different or unique experience. And I've been really enjoying how you get such a consistent controlled glide on this. It's just been such a joy to game on. All right, guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.